Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of Congregational Humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. I'm David Breeden, Senior Minister. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis on this beautiful, soon-to-be hot Sunday, June 16th of 2024. First Unitarian Society is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, and our programming is on-site, live, online, live, and on demand, 24/7. We greet you folks who are joining us online. We're happy you're with us, and obviously happy everyone here in the room is here. And happy Father's Day to all who celebrate today. I'm the Reverend Kelli Clement. I'm your assistant minister. I'm joined today by the Reverend Dr. J. Exodus Hooper, Music Director Mike Vasich, Membership Coordinator Suzanne Seehusen, and FUS member Peter Dascoli. Wherever you are, will you turn to your right or your left and say, "I'm so happy you are here today." Welcome everyone to this place of love and justice, where we attempt to live up to humanity's highest ideals and highest hopes. We've got lots going on today in an echo from our former assistant minister, the Reverend Jim Fody, who used to say when we had lots of things happening, it was a combo platter. So that's why it's a combo platter today. And thank you for being with us for all of this. Now, I have asked to sing several songs today. I like a hymn sing, and some of them are in the book, but this one is not. This is one that I learned at a gathering of artists and spiritual leaders not very long ago, and I wanted to share it with you. The words are from the Dalai Lama. Do you say Dalai or Dalai? Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama. Every day, when you wake up, think to yourself, today, I'm fortunate to have woken up. I have this life, this precious human life, and I'm not going to waste it. That's how our lyrics go. They'll come up here, but after you kind of get them, get your eyes off the screen, and let's be singing together. Let me sing it once through. We'll see if I can get it, and then we'll go.
To have woken up, I am alive, I have a precious human life, and I'm not gonna waste it, no, every day, think as you wake up. All right, here's today I'm fortunate to have precious human life, and I'm not gonna waste it, no,
That's how we sing that song. Yes. Hadassah, will you come and light our chalice? Who's lighting? Misha. All right. Here you are.
Okay. Will you say with me, please? Is this it?
Yep.
Okay. We start our assembly by lighting the chalice.
In loving, reverent relationship with humanity and nature.
So we'll sing again. There's a river flowing in my soul, number 1007, and of course the lyrics will come right up here. Please stand as you're willing and able. Standing for our congregational covenant. Theo, will you come and lead us in this?
Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Well, we are here and up. My notes stay on the phone. So, I'm really glad to actually honor today our ethical explorers. I will keep this short since we have such a smorgasbord of wonder coming our way. And I'm going to ask that Justice Bovey join me, who is the actually engineer of Secular North and founder of Secular North and president of Secular North, who brought me on board to make Ethical Explorers happen. I want to read off a few names, and if these kiddos are here, or if these explorers are here, it would be great for you to come up, grab your award, give a little smile, and go back to your seat. Okay? Trust me, it would be more ceremonial if we had more time. Sula, I want to honor you for being an ethical explorer. Misha. Ren. It's okay, we can still clap. Ren. That's the Lustler family. Everett, not here today either. Chandler? No? You can tell summer has officially started. Avi. Amen. Hugh. Hadassah. Not much of an explorer, but I will say one of the greatest facilitators I work with, Serena. And I believe that is it. We do have Sam and Jack. Oh, and Dominic. And last, but certainly not least, Franklin, painter. These awards are given because of the need to constantly be in discovery. Ethical Explorers has been about discovery and exploring one's journey, and not only their journey within charting a path for them, but them engaging in their own agency and autonomy to know their worth. That is important. And I want to reiterate that constantly when we engage in ethical explorers, and know that our children do matter here. Our families matter here, and you, as a result of it, are not only have an inherent worth, but you are worthwhile. And I'm excited about your journey next year. Thank you so much. Thank you, Justice. So I have the wonderful opportunity today to honor, to do what is called a bridge ceremony. I will be honest, I'm not trained in this process, so can I be honest with you, all right? But I did my homework, and I don't have a little bridge like I saw some of the ceremonies have. I don't have gardening gloves, but I can guarantee you this much: I will do as also what we can offer, which is the fullness of who we are as a community. Because I want to be fair to what I did see and witness, but I also know that in this moment, there are two individuals that have graduated. I would like for them to actually come and stand right at the very first two, if possible, Serena and Theo. So, the bridge ceremony consists of understanding that you have stepped into adulthood. If you were a member, all right, there we go. If you started off here, or any UU congregation, with a rose that had no thorns on it. And so during your naming ceremony, you would have gotten this rose, and the goal was to keep you safe and to keep you grounded and from as much societal harm as possible. And as we look at the world today, I'm to offer you a new rose, which I will give. I was very deliberate in picking out roses, because these roses have to have thorns. I will tell you now, as I'm going through this process, it is the ability to ensure that I give you a thorn, and I'm going to stick myself first. As you step into adulthood, as you move from one side of life to another, this is your rite of passage. This community cannot protect you. You will step into a reality that is yours. You've already probably stepped into much of a reality, because the world is not what it used to be when your grandparents went here, when your parents went here, And the exposure to technology makes that even more vast. And the information you have received is probably more advanced than mine, and I'm only in my late 30s, right? I'll be cute with it today. But the truth of the matter is I want to take the time to honor you and give you this rose and give you the opportunity to kind of see, if y'all can just turn, and see that path forward is filled with a bunch of people that you will either walk with one day, walk past one day, and life will be exactly what you make it. This is your bridge. It will be after these doors open and into a world that is yours for you to name. I've also I want to give y'all a little gift, and I just want to explain one portion of this gift. Thank you. Hand me my phone. This is yours. Thank you. This is yours. Now, in these gift bags, I'll tell you what they are, so that when they open them, like, why is it in here? I come from a tradition where there is someone at the crossroads called Elegba. Elegba handles everything regarding somebody's destiny. So if you look in that bag, you should see something red. What is that? What you see?
Dice.
Dice. I promise I'm not making gamblers, I promise. Welcome to African-based traditions, though. Because it's for you to take a chance on yourself. It will not make sense all the time, but you have to take a chance on yourself. You will be able to do so much in life, whether it's education, whether it's going into the workforce immediately, maybe move on and create the own love that you want to have in your life. Or maybe it's you recreating your own journey and forming your own ideas and your own politics and your own social norms. I give the opportunity to roll those dice to know that you can take a chance on yourself. There's something else white in there. What else is in there?
Mold.
Yeah, some clay. Mold. Jeez, that's a perfect word. It is clay, yes, molding clay. But I want to name that. That is because, as we know, life is what you make it. It is what you shape it. It will not look the way that you want it all the time. It will not be what you expect it to be, but it is your job to shape it and make it. And also in there is a gift from the society with the values, if you want to stick them somewhere, to remind you of where you have journeyed from and look back and remember. It is a beautiful Sankofa experience, and Sankofa is the way that we reach back and grab the very things that we hold precious and dear and bring them forward into our lives. So whatever values matter to you, bring them forth. And for that, normally we would have families say something, and I want to give the opportunity before I move on. I know we got a lot going on, but I just want to offer the opportunity for the two parents of these wonderful scholars just to say something that is meaningful and helpful in their path as they get ready to move forward. If so, okay. Well, I will read this litany to you. What? Okay. I will read this litany to you. I tried to find the UU one. It was not available and I didn't have the book. But I think this is probably most apropos because I love reading Audre Lorde. Here is a litany to survival. For those of us who live at the shorelines, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in the doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawn looking inward and outward, at once before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures. Like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the deaths of ours. For those of us who were imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads. For those of us, this instant and this is triumph. We were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. And when the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. And when our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we will never eat again. And when we are loved, we are afraid that love will vanish. And when we are alone, we are afraid that love will never return. And when we are alone, and when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard, nor be welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we, you, nor I were never meant to survive. So speak up, use your voices. Here is your bridge. It's all yours.
First Unitarian Society is a congregational humanist community. This means that we are here for each other, for our neighbors, for our planet. When we gather on Sundays, we take a few moments to reflect on the human experience, the joys, the sorrows, the milestones. We do this so that we stay in touch with our own humanity, and we do this to remind ourselves of the value of a moment of stillness. Today, we celebrate with Pat and Larry Gottschalk their 60 years of marriage. That would make 1964 a very good year for you, right? That was a good year. We take a few moments to reflect on those in our world who work for comfort, who work to comfort the suffering and work for justice. And let's just say, for all the fathers in our lives, absent fathers, present fathers, fathers who are no longer with us, folks who wish they could be fathers. Fatherhood is complex, as is motherhood. Parenthood is complex. Let's hold a thought for all the ways that fathering shows up in our lives.
When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you. My name is Suzanne, and I'm honored to be your membership coordinator here at First Unitarian. Today, we are celebrating those who have helped FUS grow over the past year by volunteering their time and energy in countless ways. Greeters welcoming us each Sunday, the auction committee putting on a fantastic event this March, the kitchen crew cooking our favorite mini meal treats, all the work of volunteers. We are celebrating 20 volunteer groups today. If willing, please stand as your group is called, and we will hear from one of the representatives as to how they look forward to FUS growing this year. Please hold your applause till the representative is finished speaking. So our first list, it's going to be the next slide. I can also just read them. Fantastic. All right, here we go. Again, if you're willing to stand, that would be wonderful as we call your name. So those who have participated in Ethical Explorers Committee, OWL facilitators, there we go, tech team, kitchen crew, ooh, gardeners, building and grounds committee, choir, upper assembly task force. Fantastic. If we can have Christy Eller please come and say a few words. Thank you.
I'm Christy Eller, and I do a few things around here. One of them is the kitchen crew. I can cook. I can also read a balance sheet, so I've been on the finance committee for a few years. And I really love to read, and I've been involved in the Love to Read program. I really think breaking bread together encourages communication and connection. I really hope in the coming year that we'll expand beyond our mini meals, beyond our seasonal celebrations, beyond the movie nights, and really work with the second Sunday meal where we're serving and trying to bring communication to essentially a lot of homeless individuals and isolated individuals that sort of live in the area around Plymouth Church. We're doing that with 4 other downtown congregations. And the next speaker is really leading that, and that's Dara.
And if I can ask in this intermission, can we applaud for the volunteers? Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I don't have anybody standing, but I do want to say that as Christy sort of handed it off to me, I have been at every one of the meals that we have served at Plymouth Church for Second Sunday. And it is because it is so important to me that the work of loving hands is given to people and in its most essential way consumed, right, by food. But when I looked around and saw everybody standing who is a volunteer of just this tiny sliver of the things that we do, it reminded me of how many works of loving hands we have here. I personally am involved with Second Sunday Dinner, with the membership committee, with Doors Open, that brought many people in to see what our community really looks like. and with the Animal Action Committee. I have a chance to do so many things. and that, right? So, so much stuff. But this is the work of so many hands. And my dream of growth for us is that our hands continue to do what they are good at, which is the work of loving other people. My dream of growth for us is to continue to connect within our walls, to connect different organizations to each other, to work in concert, and of course to reach outside. To reach outside to other spiritual communities like we do with St. Mark's and with Plymouth Congregational Church at Second Sunday, and also to continue to be a welcoming home for humanists, for people whose hands are ready for the work. And that is my dream for us, and we're already doing so well there.
That was really nicely said. Thank you so much. So we are now going to call the next group that Dara was just representing exactly. Here we go. So if you've been a greeter, please stand. Seasonal celebrations, welcome table, membership committee, bookstore, doors open. My people, awesome. Let's clap for them. Thank you so much. You can sit down, and we're going to have Anne come up and speak.
Good morning. I'm Ann Beecher, and I am so fortunate I get to serve on the Board of Trustees for First Unitarian Society. I have worked in the kitchen. I can chop some carrots, I'm telling you. And I've been a greeter, which is just such a joy to be able to say hi to everyone who comes through that door. Like folks did to me when I moved back here last June. I got a little choked up. 42 years ago, I came to First Unitarian Society. Not a surprise to you, I was raised Lutheran. I didn't know Unitarian Universalism existed. I didn't know humanism was a thing until a friend of mine said, "Come to church with me." And he brought me here. And I was done. Kornerizian was the minister. Heinrich Fleischer was the music director. I sat through my first service here at First Unitarian Society, and that was it. I've been a lifelong Unitarian since then. Went to Albuquerque, served on many boards and committees at First Unitarian Church there. And that's my dream for growth for this community in the coming year, is that we can reach out our hand and say, "Come to church with me." Whether we reach those folks through social media, whether we do it through that personal contact, we can be huge. I want to reach the people who don't know we exist, but who we need and who need us. So that's my dream for the coming year. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anne. And if you're on Anne's crew, please stand as I call your name. The first is Board of Trustees, Finance Committee, Nominating Committee, Foundation Board, Auction Committee, Stewardship Committee. Please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you again to all of our volunteers. In appreciation, the membership committee has put together flower seed packets, which are located on the table directly outside the Assembly Hall. We hope you enjoy your gift and the rest of this beautiful summer day. Thanks.
All right, so I've got the wonderful pleasure of being with Peter. Actually, Peter, can you sit on that corner? Right here? Yep. Because I'm gonna act like I'm gonna be this one down here. Because we don't have anything we don't have chairs, so that's cool. I asked Peter because to join me today because we're gonna talk about owl. We're gonna talk about owl and what is owl. And if you've never heard of OWL, it means our whole lives. And it just so happens to be a sexual education curriculum. And I want to really give Peter the opportunity with me to share in this moment. So, Peter, what is OWL and what makes it amazing?
Put that next slide up, would you? So, Our Whole Lives, Healthy Sexuality Curriculum. Up here. Our Whole Lives, lifespan sexual education. And as you can see there, it's comprehensive lifespan sexual education. A little background, the Unitarian Universalists put together a program, I think in the 70s, called About Your Sexuality, AYS, which some kids probably here, when they're no longer kids, that might have gone through. And by the 90s, the 8mm projectors were kind of falling apart and things weren't working so good, besides the fact that everything had advanced, and it's still advancing. And so some very thoughtful people inside the UUA came up with the idea, we don't need to just teach people or talk about this as adolescents, as going through puberty, but we need to do it through our whole lives. That's where that all comes from. The other piece to that is that the UUA and the UCC, the United Church of Christ, came together and put together this program, spent a large amount of money, donations and grants and whatnot, to get some of the best educators in the country to put this program together. In addition, they have committed, you can look on the UU website and see they have committed to continuing to maintain this. That is upgrading it, getting new additions out. Things are changing here, as we all know, every day.
So, if I can say this, so it's very clear that we're exploring sexuality and so on and so forth. I noticed that this past month y'all had a whole crew of youth. What age group was that? And particularly, also, what I guess my other question is what ages does it not cover? You said our whole lives, but some people stop. Do people stop having sex?
No.
Okay, I just need to know for my own well-being.
No, don't worry, you're still there. You're still there.
I'm still there. Okay, I'm trying to enjoy my life.
Right. That next slide, would you put that one up? So Our Whole Lives is our whole lives. And I think when this was initiated, the idea was we're going to put this curriculum together that everybody can participate in. And it soon became apparent that to have age-appropriate curriculum, you're not going to be able to use the same one. So as you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 curriculums, actually. I don't think it covers below kindergarten. Now, beyond that, it's pretty much everything. There's some spaces. So it's kindergarten and first grade we did have downstairs that I was lucky enough to be with. It was wonderful. If anyone wants to teach kindergartners, come talk to me. There is the 4th through 6th grade, which is, I should say something about each one of these, I guess. So kindergarten, you're learning things about what's appropriate touch, and how do you say no, and how do you ask permission, among other things. For the 4th to 6th grade, that side would be 4, there's a lot about vocabulary. You know, these are kids about to go into puberty, and I don't know about any of you, but I was going into puberty. People were saying kind of words, and I had to figure out what they meant, and I didn't know who to ask, and I was too embarrassed, and so you always had to come up with whatever seemed like the definition of that word, which made it very confusing. So this is what that's about. The big one is going to be the junior high. That's the puberty. That's 26 weeks, 26 lessons long. It's the nuts and bolts, and I'll get into a piece of that in a minute. The next one is the senior high. That's more of the same with a little more depth, a little more political aspects to it. Then we have, initially we had an adult OWL, and that went well. I remember teaching it 2 times, once here, once at FUC, and it was great, but you have a mix of people. We had young people and old people, so since then, there's a young adult OWL, which is obviously dealing with sexual issues of people who are young, which, having been there, I am now with those people who are older. We have an older OWL, and it's a different set of issues to deal with and think about. That last piece is each one of these has a faith component to them. Intentionally, the other pieces are used anywhere. In other words, you can use any secular setting, any other churches. I know some Jewish congregations that have used it. I know a number of Methodists. A lot of different congregations use it. But if you're going to stay in the UCC, you also have this other accompaniment that you can use. But it's intentional to have it bigger than just UAP spokes.
So I shouldn't use TikTok to get my education. Okay, I'm just saying, because, I guess that brings me to my last question, which is like how, in a world that really has advanced in like sex culture and internet and technology, like there's a lot of things that are happening now. How is OWL keeping up with such changing and such growth? I mean, gender is not not what we understand it to be. And so I'm curious of how we are adapting with OWL in today's time in sex culture.
So the simple, I'll give a long answer, but I'll start with the short answer. The short answer is that they make new editions. We just came out with the K1 was a new edition, and there's a lot more information there than the other ones, as just in kids that young, and talking about inclusive language, for example, is a part of that. Could you put that one last slide up? One of the things I will mention is, going back a little bit, is the basis of this this whole program has to do with this sexuality definition. I walk into some place where I talk to the friends, or I talk to my kids. My kids already know, but I talk to somebody who doesn't know me as well, and I say, well, I'm going to go to the Unitarian Society and we're going to have a sex class. And of course, the first thing comes to everybody's mind is the horizontal mambo, everybody's doing it. And, the point is that sexuality is far bigger than any of that. And that's what this is about right there. And I'll just mention real quickly, there's 5 circles, all interconnected. The first one is sensuality. That's more about the physical aspects of things, and it goes much more than what I just said, so it's body image. Skin hunger, which anybody wants to know more about that, I'll talk it later. There's the second circle is intimacy, which has much more to do with the emotions that are connected with things, our caring, our sharing, our loving, our liking. The third one has to do with sexual identity. That obviously has exploded in the last 20 years in terms of just being present in society. Reality hasn't exploded. The recognition has exploded, so that sexual identity, gender roles, sexual orientation, biological sex. The fourth circle, sexual health and reproduction, is the nuts and bolts. That's about the plumbing, the anatomy and physiology. That's the basics for what usually makes up most sex education courses. And the last one is sexualization, and this would be mostly the dark side of sexuality. It's where sexuality is used for something other than itself. So using this as a model, as a definition to start with, we can start talking about sexuality in a much broader way, a much more complete way, and something that's, I think, desperately needed right now, despite TikTok.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much, Peter. I appreciate it. This sums up that moment. In the words of Marvin Gaye, let's get it on.
Peter, I want to thank you for your longtime leadership of this program. And if people wanted to become an OWL facilitator, should they talk to you about that? Please, talk to Peter about that. There happens to be a training coming up, both for adult OWL facilitators and I think for high school or grade school. All three, at First Universalist Church, the first weekend in August. And I'll just bet you there's still room for that. But the UUA website, if you Google, as I just did moments ago, UUA OWL Facilitator Training, you can find where those happen. And we hosted a big one here last year. We're really glad to be able to do that. And so it's one of the reasons that I'm a Unitarian Universalist, because we take human sexuality so seriously. We teach it to our kids, with our little ones and bigger ones and adults. And and it's part of what makes us human. And so it's right in line with our humanism. So thank you to you and to the other OWL facilitators who have done this work with our young people over the decades. It's really important. Now let's sing again. This little light of mine. Please stand as you're able.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go.
Good morning. My name is Mark Weiler, and I'm one of the volunteers that provide care and education for the youngest members of this society. I've been privileged to share community with many of the folk in this hall in service to our youth. We often learn from them as much as they learn from us. It's a joyful obligation that those of us who volunteer are honored to hold in trust. But we don't do it alone. First Unitarian Society is a free, independent, and self-governing congregational humanist community. We are able to bring our message of justice and hope to the world because of the generosity of our members and friends in time, talent, and treasure. You can scan the QR code, which is not there. You can find it. Eventually it'll be there, which will take you to our giving page. There you will find several easy ways to contribute to our mission, including a link to our online giving form. Those of you in the building who wish to give via cash or check, please stop by our office. Thank you for making the First Universalist Society possible.
Well, we have a few announcements today. For those of you who are joining us online, we hope you have a delicious lunch waiting for you, because we do here in the building. After assembly, please join us downstairs for our mini meal. Today we have Mexican lasagna with yellow rice, black beans and ham on corn polenta, new wave coronation salad, and good day for banana cake. Such thanks to our kitchen team again for all the good food you serve us. There are several different groups that are having meetings today. There's probably a sign out in the front hallway, and there'll be one downstairs where different groups are having meetings today. I'll say that donations toward our mini meal would normally go toward helping defray our grocery costs, but today your donations go to the second Sunday dinner at Plymouth Congregational Church that we heard Dara talk about. That's provided by our First Unitarian kitchen staff and supported by volunteers from multiple congregations. These Sunday evening meals are free and open to all, and they are hosted and provided by Align Minneapolis members and congregations. We have a donation jar and a credit card reader downstairs, or you can scan the QR code that comes up again on the screen to use our online giving form. We appreciate that. At 2 o'clock today, a violin piano concert will take place here in the Assembly Hall. Hidden Layers is music for violin and piano by LGBTQ composers. Music of Schubert and Saint-Saëns with our own Amos Lucidi on piano and violinist Ian Snyder. This concert is free and all are welcome. And next week, June 23rd, will be the Reverend Dr. David Breeden's last Sunday here at FUS as he moves into retirement. And we'll have a big celebration for him, so please don't miss next Sunday. It will be a big deal. We have people to come and extinguish our chalice. Will you come and do so?
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All of these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
And we're going to sing once more, Answering the Call of Love. Where this shows up in our songbook, it says Standing on the Side of Love. But disability activists have helped us to know that we are answering the call of love. So the correct lyrics will be up here. Please stand as you are able. Please be seated. Do we have a slide with those closing words, Jacob? Then we're not all going to say them together. I'm going to say them. And I'm not Reverend David, but I'm happy to stay in his stead. Go out into the world. Be fearless. Ask questions. Hold on to what is good. Strengthen the weak. Comfort the fearful. Serve the suffering. Do what makes you come alive, because as the great Howard Thurman said, the world needs more people who have come alive. Rejoice in the power of the human spirit. So may it be. I could have given you 5.